I'm guessing that if you all wanted some popcorn, you could talk to Zach too. I have been very excited the last couple of days about this talk because I discovered an old friend. I don't know if any of you took Psychology 100 or 101 in college, but one of the things I remembered was the Philip Zimbardo experiment where students became prisoners and guards. And as it happened, what happened was so dramatic they shut down the experiment after 7 days because people put into the role of guards and prisoners became so real. The prisoners became downcast and miserable, and the guards became mean. And they were just college students, and so that started Philip Zimbardo on a long history of looking into, through social psychology, what makes a person choose to be bad or to be evil? What makes a person choose that? And this weekend has been the fall equinox. We had a really fun potluck on Thursday. We were going to look at the stars, but it was cloudy, but we had fun anyway. We made nighttime slime, which was I can't explain it and just say that it was an uplifting experience. We had a potluck. It was fun. But it was about the fall equinox that I was thinking. This morning, when I usually look at the weather in the morning, and it said the sun rose at 7:05 a.m., and it was going to set at 7:05 p.m. So for today in Des Moines, at least according to my phone, this is it. This is the day where there's exactly 12 hours of light and 12 hours of darkness, in balance. And that just brings up a lot of questions, Throughout time, we are interested in the light and the dark, and the good and the evil. And unity is really interesting because unity has a very specific teaching about evil. Unity teaches non-duality. There is only one God, and God is good, and that is the power in our life. And at the same time, unity also acknowledges that people choose to do things that are harmful. If you want to call it evil or harmful, whatever you want to call it, it's clear that people can do things that are not for the greater good. Now, Philip Zimbardo has been, after his he studied a lot about what would make people choose to do something harmful or evil. And the last many years of his life, he's been studying what enhances people to choose to do the greater good, What will have somebody choose to be a hero? And I definitely know that one thing a hero does is a hero chooses the choice for we instead of me. Okay? We all have our ego, and we all know that the worst things are done in the name of protection and for your own self. And the greatest things are done in the name of the greater good, for all of us together, for we, And the journey from the me to the we is often the spiritual journey. In the very first part of the Bible, am I my brother's keeper? Cain asked God after he had slain his brother. And yes, we get told again and again, we are our brother's keeper and our sister's keeper. That's what the songs we sang were all about today. We are definitely the keeper for our people. Now, what is religion for if it is not to teach us to be a hero, to go for the greater good? Here is I just want to tell you a few things that Professor Zimbardo found when he was been exploring the nature and roots of heroism, studying exemplary cases of heroism and surveying thousands of people. And the interesting thing is he's not asking the heroes that we've already read about. He's asking the silent heroes, the heroes that we don't know about, but the heroes that have been working behind the scenes, so to speak. And here's some of the things he found out. First, heroism is performed in service to others in need, whether that's a person, group, or community, or in defense of certain ideals. Second, it's engaged in voluntarily. Even in military contexts, heroism is still what you choose to do. It isn't your job. Third, a heroic act is one performed with recognition of possible risks and costs. If you act like a hero, you know that it might damage your health or your reputation. And the actor is willing to accept the sacrifice. Finally, it is performed without external gain. It's not about you're a hero in order to gain something. Simply put, then, the key to heroism is a concern for other people in need, a concern to defend a moral cause, knowing there is a personal risk, done without expectation of reward. And one other point I'm going to talk about today, because we're going to be talking about this for a couple of weeks. It's a big subject, but one insight is that the same situations that inflame the hostile imagination in some people, making them villains, can also install the heroic imagination in other people, prompting them to perform heroic deeds. Our classic example is the Holocaust. The same situation where people risked their neck and saved the Jewish, just saved Jewish people, Christians, other people, and other people just didn't do anything, right? The same situation somebody caused. So what is our work? But our work is to teach ourselves and our children and the people around us, to teach us how to be heroic. Teach us how to live our life for the greater good, to choose something to make a difference. The famous quote, in order for evil, the only thing necessary for evil is for good people to do nothing. That is so true. And it is very true in our world today. One story that Zimbardo talked about was, there's some interesting things, was there is a boy in China in the last earthquake. He was 9, and there was a very serious earthquake, and his children in his school got killed, and as he was leaving, he turned around and he realized there were 2 students that needed help. So he went back and he saved them. And then when they asked him why, he said, "I was the hall monitor. It was my job." And what does this teach us? It teaches us that that we want to frame ourselves. We want to take that choice. We want to frame ourselves as being responsible for each other. We want to basically make ourselves the hall monitor. Right? We want to step into the role of a hero. So I've got a few other things to talk about, but what I want to talk about is why this is exciting to me. I think next week we'll talk about the toolkit for heroes. There's things you can do to cultivate in ourselves and in our kids and in our friends and relations to make the soil in us so that we would be able to rise to an occasion when it's called for. But I want to talk about why this is exciting to me and maybe why it's exciting to you. So Roland and I talked about this. Do you think we could do the whiteboard up on the screen and for about 4 minutes or so? We're going to do a magic. He's going to, instead of me writing on a board or somebody writing on a big piece of paper, Roland's going to put up a blank screen and write what I'm going to ask you about. After I tell you why I'm so excited about this. Seriously, what is religion for if not to give us this space or this direction to make things better for the greater good, you know? Why do we even come here? Yes, we come here to connect and to help each other grow spiritually, but more than that. And I'm really getting a feel for how important it is for us at Unity of Des Moines. This place here can have a bigger mark on our community, and that's really where it's at. That's really where it's at. Like, to find out how to step up ourselves. So here's my question, and answer this for me. Maybe it won't happen. Maybe it will. Oh, you got it up there? All right. I was just thinking like a PowerPoint. You know what I mean? It's not working? All right. Here's the question. Seriously, what is religion for? What is this community for? I guess I'll have our handy worship assistant go around if you need a mic, and we'll write it down on the board. Well, the first thing I want to say is I think it's for the greater good. Anybody else have something to say? It may not be a question that's getting... Yeah, Laura? Support. So support. Oh, you can't show it, honey. We want to look at it. Oh, you forgot that part. You can't make it up there. Okay, there we go. All right, thank you. All right, what is religion for? What is this community for? Support. Anybody else? Peace. Did you hear that? Peace. We're all in peace. Okay, maybe this isn't the best way to do it. We'll experiment. I thought it would work. Peace. Linda, that's all right. We'll capture it a different way, yeah? Say that again. Challenge my thought. Okay. James. So developing a personal relationship with the Holy Spirit. Yes, Laura. Sending out good vibes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, think about it. One more, yeah? Supporting each other. Okay, next week, Judy has one, yeah? We'll be. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. The question is, what is religion for? What is this community for? Development of yourself. So think about it. Come next week with, well, we'll have a really slick system. You know, it might just be a piece of paper and a pen next week. And we'll, you know how sometimes things work out in your head different than, you know, when you actually get up to doing it. So, and let that question be alive in you for the week in the context of looking for the greater good, and in the context of learning how to be a hero and how to make our soil at Unity, our community, the space that we are going to create with Unity of Des Moines, so that we are going to very consciously create a space where we are going to grow ourselves and our children and our people into heroes. All right, so thank you. Let me end with this beautiful quote from John Donne. The poet John Donne wrote, "No man or woman is an island entire of itself. Every person is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. Any person's death diminishes me because I am involved in humankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee." So let's take an offering for unity right now. I invite you to put your tithe and your love offering in your hands and say this affirmation. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am,